Okay, so can you kindly tell us about African traditional religion? When someone says, oh, I'm a practitioner of African traditional religion, what does the person mean? Or what does it entail?
For someone to say he practices the African traditional religion, this means the person is living in the footsteps of his forefathers, his ancestors, his great ancestors. And I wouldn't limit this to African traditional religion. I'm going to say it's a science whereby there are given procedures that we follow and we get results. Just like in the science laboratory, you add a chemical to another and then you get a whole combination of substance. Same way, to say you are practicing African traditional religion, it means you are following or you are living according to the standards of nature. Nature says do not steal. And if you don't steal, you are not going to end up in the prisons. This is science. Nature says if you need something which is not yours, you should ask. And if the person who has it is benevolent to give you, he will give you. So these are some simple instances of what the African traditional religion, practicing it, is about. Living according to the laws of nature and allowing your conscience to be your judge as an individual. If our conscience judges us, we wouldn't think in the opposite direction. We'll always look to the positive side of life. And with the practicing of African traditional religion, if it is well with you, it will be well with your family, it will be well with your ancestry, it will be well with your generation, and mine too, and we will all be a prosperous society. So in short, to say you are practicing African traditional religion, it means you are following in the steps of your ancestors by living according to the laws of nature.
Oh, okay. That's really a detailed explanation you just given. Well, so would you say African traditional religion is demonic, or should I say the practice of African traditional religion demonic? Or when someone says, you see usually in our African concept or this Christianized Ghana, when you tell someone that oh I'm a traditionalist, they usually see you demonic. Is it a demonic thing, or is it a demonic practice?
Well, to say something is demonic or not, you should have some qualities that defines it being a demonic thing or a divine thing. There is nothing like demonic religion. So there is nothing like demonic African traditional religion. African traditional practice, or as I said, the African traditional science, is nothing about demonism. It's nothing about demons. It's nothing about malevolent energies. It is all about living in harmony with nature, understanding the principles of nature, and having the keys to knowledges of applying the principles of nature to our lives for progress, for comfort, for satisfaction. So to say African traditional practice or science is demonic, it is never true. There is nothing demonic about our practices. The way there is nothing demonic in fetching a bucket of water to bath, in taking herbs to cure yourself of sicknesses, that is how the African traditional religion is. It involves the use of nature and the things around us for our own betterment, for our own satisfaction, for our own healing. Is this demonic?
No. Okay.
So according to your standards, what do you think demonism is about? Or what elements do you see in the traditional setting that makes you think is demonic?
Ghanaians are like, hey, omo shwe mo jao, ena mo kunwe, ena hey shwe, na mo yese, ona mo yese, ona mo yese.
Well, to say somebody is pouring blood, so the person is doing something demonic, alone clearly tells that you are in a state of ignorance. Those who practice vegetarianism, The plants that they eat, are the plants not living entities? Or is it because when you pluck an orange, you don't see red substance coming out? You think eating the orange is pardonable? When you go into the Eastern practices, that is in Hinduism and the Buddhism, you know, they have this principle of ahimsa, non-violence. Non-violence doesn't only mean you shouldn't harm a human being or you shouldn't harm a fellow human. Non-violence even extends to the animals. So there are some places before they take any food, before they harvest any crop, they first of all apologize to the plant. Even in our African settings, there are some herbs before you take them or you harvest them, you have to ask permission. Why do you think we do that? Now, with the concept of pouring blood, life is blood. If we fall sick and we take medicine, we get the healing, we get the cure. But if you are short of blood, it is only blood that must be given to you. Am I right or wrong?
You are right, true.
When somebody goes to the surgical ward and they are about to have a surgery, first of all they say get some pins of blood in case the person begins to lose blood. Now, the concept of sacrificing blood is so simple. In the beginning I said that African tradition is a science.
Okay.
It is a science. And in the science of African tradition, we say we use life to buy life. We buy life with life. Just as in the Afghan proverb they say, Yedinam neyinam. In the African tradition, we say we buy blood, we buy life, I beg your pardon, with life. Now, nature has given us so many alternatives. The fowl, the goats, the dogs, these are all other forms of lives. So, depending on whatever problem it is that a client comes with, we will determine whether we will give blood or we will have to take an animal's blood. Just as when you are feeling hungry, you go and harvest a fruit without thinking about the mother of the plant or the father of the pear that you are harvesting. You don't think about the ancestors or the brothers and sisters of the banana that you are going to pluck. You just take it and you come and eat. Same way, there are certain problems that requires that we have to bring blood, which is life.
Life, okay.
It is not actually the blood, but there are some elements in the blood that is needed. And also, I want to make this clear that it is not every traditional practice that requires blood. There are some practices that requires maybe just the feather of an animal, maybe the claws, maybe you just even need a cut. You just do an incision on the animal, a part of the body, and then a drop, just a drop is okay. You let the animal go. So people shouldn't have this whole fallacy of because there is blood involved, it is demonic. No, it's not demonic. Even in other religions, they say a certain God sent his son to do what? To shed his what?
Blood.
His blood. For who? Humankind.
Humankind.
So if in Christianity it is acceptable for Jesus to shed his blood, why is it that in other traditions it is not acceptable for other people to use, not even human beings, but other alternatives like animals, to buy life with those lives? So that is, in simple words, why maybe you see some instances where there is bloodshed of animals and all that. But that is nothing demonic. No. If it's acceptable in a religion, why should it not be acceptable in another? What is good for the goose
is good for the
gander.
Wow. So, as you can see, if you are someone watching this and you have a perception that, oh, African traditional religion, just like the way he explained, you give life to take life. So, this brings us to the concept of God in African traditional religion. Can you please elaborate a little about the concept of God in African traditional religion?
Thank you very much. With the concept of God, You know, Africa is one but diverse. There are so many languages, there are so many tribes, there are so many cultures that comes together to make up Africa. So in general terms, I will tell you that the concept of God in the African traditional setting, it's in 3 levels. There is the supreme God, who we cannot go to. The concept of God is this: one, the supreme one that none of us can face. In the Bible, when Moses went for the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai, he wanted God to give it to him in hand. And God told him, I cannot show myself to you like that. You are a mortal. You don't